Hey guys, this is Royal.
And this is Michael Little.
And you're listening to the Laker Lounge. Hey listeners, welcome to the first episode of the Laker Lounge podcast. I am Atawanna Royal, proud alumna of Clayton State University, class of 2008, and the Associate Director for the Department of Campus Life. I am joined by someone who keeps me engaged as an alumna, my co-host, Mr. Michael Little, the Associate Director for Alumni Engagement.
Thank you so much, Royal, and we are excited to have you here with us, and I know that I'm thrilled to be a part of this podcast. I know I have a rotation of 3 to 4 that I listen to regularly, so to be able to host the Laker Lounge alongside my good friend Royal is something that I can't wait to experience. A lot of people have put in a lot of time and a lot of hours to get this podcast on the air, and we really are excited to have each of you here with us today. The Laker Lounge is going to be an opportunity for you to hear about what is affecting Atlanta and our surrounding community, as well as the state of Georgia and the nation, all with the Clayton State spin. And so we hope that at the end of each episode, you're going to put down your headsets and feel a little bit closer to Clayton State.
For our first episode, we have a fabulous, and I do mean fabulous, interview as our first guest is Clayton State alumna, Mrs. Georgia 2017, Mrs. LaCrisha Burton Saba.
But before we get to the interview, we have with us Danielle Moore, Coordinator of Alumni Programs, to talk about our conversation with LaCrisha.
Hi guys. Well, I really enjoy interviewing Miss LaCrisha Burton Saba. She's phenomenal. Everything that she's doing at Hurt Park monthly, just feeding the homeless. She has a remarkable story. I'm just glad I was able to capture that.
What about her personality? What was she like?
Well, she's gorgeous. She's a pageant beauty queen, but she's very humble. She's very down to earth. And she talks so much about her humble beginnings, just coming from a small pea-sized town in Tennessee. And, she's just awesome. She's just a great person to be around.
Yeah, so a lot of our alumni are making big impacts all over the state of Georgia, the Atlanta area, all over the nation, all over the world. And, what do you feel like LaCrisha feels is the biggest impact that she was able to make as Mrs. Georgia?
I would say LaCrisha's biggest impact is her nonprofit, With Love Global. She started her nonprofit first prior to competing in the Mrs. Georgia pageant. And she decided to compete because she wanted to use that as a catalyst to get her nonprofit out there. I mean, she was already feeding the homeless monthly. She had partnered with so many different groups around Atlanta, just from helping to give them showers and resources with the veterans. So she's just done a lot. And I think that's her biggest impact is, not only competing, but using that as a platform for her nonprofit and to get her name out there and help collaborate with other groups around Atlanta.
That's tremendous. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I absolutely love the name, With Love Global. It says it in its name, so we already can kind of imagine the impact that she is having through this platform. Now, I have a question that all the queens, like the queen I am, are dying to know. Did she let you wear her crown?
I did not get a chance to wear her crown. However, I definitely helped to assist her with the video that we did for the magazine. And so just having to carry it and, help to get her ready for photo shoots and stuff for Laker Connection. So didn't get to do it this time, but maybe next time I'll get a chance to wear a crown.
Well, just to touch it is closer than many of us have been, right?
Right.
Well, Danielle, thank you so much for stopping by. Listeners, we hope you enjoy our conversation with Clayton State alumna and Mrs. Georgia 2017, LaCrisha Burton Saba.
Hi, LaCrisha. Welcome to the Laker Lounge. Well, I'm so excited to have you here. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is LaCrisha Burton Saba. I am a proud 2014 graduate of Clayton State University with a Bachelor's of Business and Management and a minor in Marketing. I am currently the Marketing Director for Center Neurology, located here in Riverdale, Georgia.
LaCrisha, tell me more about where you grew up and what was the experience like for you?
Okay, so I grew up in small town Tennessee. It's a little pea-sized place called Henderson. Most people have never heard of it, and I don't blame them, because if I wasn't born there, I probably would have never heard of it either. But I'm so proud because we have 2 red lights now. There was actually only a blinking light when I grew up there, but it really shaped me because my family is really close. Even the community is really close, a tight-knit community. You know, everybody knows your business, but that's also a good thing because it keeps you out of trouble, you know.
Now, how did your childhood experiences shape you into being a humanitarian?
So I think a lot of my morals come from just watching my grandmother be the community grandmother that made sure, you know, this child who may have a little harder time or maybe less fortunate is fed. Make sure, you know, grandkids, they can come in with her grandkids and eat and sit down at her table, or she's buying them Christmas gifts. And as a child, you don't really understand what's going on there. But as you get older and you get into high school and grandmother's still doing those things, you start to realize that that's just a loving nature, and that's her heart, and that's her morals.
So, as the former Mrs. Georgia America 2017, what led you into competing in pageants?
The pageant world kind of fell into my lap. I started my nonprofit first. It's called With Love Global. And I was looking for more exposure for, or a bigger platform for my nonprofit. So I thought, you know, why not try pageantry? With the title, you're granted so many open doors that little old me was knocking on as myself, and they weren't opening, but then you put on the big shiny hat and people roll out the red carpet. So that's kind of what sparked my interest for pageantry.
Your nonprofit, With Love Global, is all about helping communities. How did you come up with the idea to start With Love Global?
I drug my husband to Guatemala, and so I wanted to hike this volcano there. On the way to our hiking spot, we stop at this gas station to get water, and these kids are like, they're begging. So I take my food out and I give them my sandwiches. And the one little boy that actually comes up, and he was so beautiful, just beautiful. And I give him the sandwich, and I watch him go back, and he opens this sandwich, and he breaks it off, and he gives it to them. Everyone got a piece. It just really resonated with me. And then the guy comes back, and he goes, you know, you probably just blessed them. That's probably the first thing they've eaten all week. Here I am in this beautiful country, and you have starving children. It's unacceptable. And that's when With Love Global was born. And Guatemala was actually one of my first initiatives.
What other countries has With Love Global reached?
So we added global last year because I had this dream. I travel quite often, and during those travels, you're going to always experience poverty. And you see it everywhere you turn. And so for me, I said, you know, let's start doing things abroad. We're already helping home. We do that regularly. That's our top priority. But there are people around the world that needs help. So I am so excited and so proud that we have been able to help or successfully execute initiatives in Tanzania, in Peru, Guatemala, Lebanon, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but those were like some of the really big ones. And of course, when I travel, which I've been fortunate enough to, I think I'm on country 33 now. So everywhere I go, even if it's something that's quote unquote luxurious, I still try to find some way to help.
What about here locally in Georgia?
Every third Sunday, we go down to Georgia State University's Hurt Park downtown, and we feed anywhere from about 125 to 150 homeless people in the park. I open my home, we cook hot meals in my home, and then we go down to the park and we feed. We also give out hygiene. In the wintertime, they need blankets, they need thermal blankets, socks, gloves, anything you can think of, because as you all know, we've had some brutal cold, and there has actually been deaths here on these Atlanta streets because of the cold weather. And unfortunately, some of those were children. So that's really what I wanted to accomplish with the pageant, was just to bring more exposure to our homeless, our hungry, and our veterans.
What all is involved in running a nonprofit?
with the nonprofit, I do everything as far as like all of the marketing, making ads, creating the events, the web page, flyers, and I wouldn't have that knowledge without my marketing background. So I am thankful for my marketing degree and all of the education that I received at Clayton State University, because without it, I wouldn't be able, you wouldn't have a web page to go to. I'd just have to come talk to you.
For those ladies interested in competing in pageants, can you explain the difference between Miss America and Miss USA?
Okay, so on television you see Miss America and you see Miss USA. Well, they have this wonderful world of pageantry for us married women as well. So we're kind of like the younger Miss America. They really focus a lot on what you're doing in the community, how, if you're well spoken, because your interview or the scoring breaks down. The interview is 50% of your score. And so that's done on a separate day. So we go in for interviews first, and then the following day, everything that's done on stage. So they judge you in fitness, and they judge you on stage appearance and evening gown. So when you look at the two, America looks for more of that girl next door who's very active in her community. They look at, your educational background and so forth. Whereas Miss USA, they still look at those things, but the scoring is a little bit more lenient. Like for instance, everything's broken into 3 parts between interview, evening gown, and swimwear.
Competing in the merit division for Miss Georgia is pretty much the highest title for your age group. So what are your plans after you relinquish your title?
My plans after that is just to keep doing what I am doing. Like I said, I'm not sure. I would love to compete again. I like pageantry. Like, what girl doesn't like getting dressed up? Because I am so basic on a day-to-day basis. So it is fun. I don't know if I'll compete again, but I will keep doing everything that I'm already doing, hands-on in my community, hopefully growing the nonprofit a little bit more because I'll have more time. Like right now, it's kind of like spreading the time between pageantry and nonprofit. So when I do relinquish my title, I'll be able to solely focus on With Love Global. So you'll see a lot of With Love Global when I give up my title.
LaCrisha, in addition to you having more time to devote to With Love Global, do you see yourself training and possibly mentoring young girls who are interested in competing in pageants?
I do, and I currently mentor several young ladies, not just married women, the younger generation as well. And that's really why I'm truly interested in being a director, because I would love to go out and, find those young ladies who need that direction or kind of like that big sister to get them into the opportunities that they need as a young woman. Because even though the merit division doesn't award scholarship money, the younger girls, the Miss America system gives out, I think, hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarship money. And even if you don't take that crown, all of the other semi-finalist awards or, fitness award or whatever it may be at a local level can really help and go towards, some young woman's education.
Now, who would you say is your biggest supporter?
My husband is truly, as cliche as it sounds, he's like my biggest supporter, biggest cheerleader. He nicknamed me Mother LaCrisha because he says that I'm always trying to save humanity in any form. But it's very important to have that spouse who's willing to say, you know what, we were supposed to go watch a movie today, but I know you have a feeding, so it's okay. What can I do? What do I need to carry for you? Whatever it may be. And he's just truly, he supports me in so many different ways, but just being understanding, because I have so many things that pop up. And so like I mentioned earlier, some of my guy friends, especially Hope Through Soap, it's not this event is planned. Sometimes it just pops up during the week. And so as his friend, I always, try to support him and try to be there and try to support the community. So my husband and I, always go to him and I'm like, I kind of have something I need to do on Saturday. Do you have anything you wanted to do? And I always ask, but he's usually like, you know what? take care of that, and we can do this on another day. So just being understanding is like my number one thing that I truly love about him.
Wow, LaCrisha, that's like relationship goals. Thank you so much for stopping by Laker Lounge. This being our first episode, you made this a great interview. I just wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors.
Wow, that was such an amazing interview, Michael, right?
It really is great seeing the impact that our alumni are having out in the community.
Speaking of impact, the Student Activities Center has made a huge impact on our campus life here. And guess what? We're celebrating 10 years.
That is wonderful.
Yes, on September 17th, we're going to have a grand building rededication and a ribbon cutting ceremony open to all of our Clayton State community and beyond. We're going to have a DJ, cotton candy, popcorn, games on the green, karaoke inside the lounge, so much more, Michael. Everyone is invited. Again, 11 a.m. on Monday, September 17th. Great way to kick off the week.
Now, Royal, that sounds like an awesome party. And speaking of parties, alumni, don't forget, on October 4th through 6th, we have Alumni Weekend. And we're going to kick off festivities that weekend on Thursday, celebrating those alumni like Royal who continue to serve Clayton State as faculty and staff. We know that all of our alumni are having a great impact in our community, but we really want to especially recognize those who are making a difference in the lives of our current Lakers. For all of our alumni who have graduated recently, we will also be hosting a Young Alumni Social on Friday night at the Painted Pen in Atlanta. Do you bowl, Royal?
I sure do.
Awesome. So alumni, be sure to get your bowling shoes out, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Then on Saturday, we're going to have activities and events going on all day. We'll have a movie screening of Monsters University, so be sure to bring your kids and your grandkids to campus. If you're interested in getting a good workout or stretch in to start your day, the Alumni Association will also host a yoga session. All this leads up to Laker Fest, where we will have a low country boil, live music from the Throwback Experience, kids entertainment, and beverage area for adults. I hope that sounds like fun to you, Royal.
It sounds like a ton of fun. I am so excited about each and every part. I'm really excited to get my family involved, so this is going to be an incredible weekend.
Absolutely. And after all the Alumni Association events, alumni, be sure to stay on campus and cheer on the Laker men's soccer team as they take the field. So no matter your interest, there is something for you at Alumni Weekend, and we hope you will register today at www.clayton.edu/alumni/weekend.
Well, that wraps up our first ever episode of Laker Lounge.
It was so much fun, Royal.
I had a blast. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so looking forward to our next one.
Yes, exactly. We're going to be discussing the upcoming election with Associate Professor of Political Science, Dr. Joshua Medow, as well as Sarah Henderson, who is a Clayton State alumna and part-time faculty member and Executive Director of Common Cause Georgia. So listeners, we'll see you next time at the Laker Lounge. The Laker Lounge is a collaborative production between the Office of Marketing and Communications and the Office of Alumni Engagement. Assistant Vice President of Marketing and Communications is Maritza Ferreira. The Laker Lounge is co-produced by Brandon McCowan, University videographer. Website administrator is Leanne Bradbury. Graphic designer is Heidi Weathersby. And your hosts are Michael Little and Atawanna Royal.